Well, good morning, good morning. We are gathering for coffee with Casper. Here's the coffee. Here's the cat. Well, here's the coffee. Here's the Casper. Good morning, good morning. Let me know where you are and that you can hear me as we're gathering for coffee with Cat. Ooh, you're going to knock that microphone down. As we're gathering with, and I got Mountain down here. Can you see Mountain down here? There's Mountain right there. The boys are here. The boys are back in town. All right. Hi, Becky. Good morning. Good morning. Let me know where you're from. Here's Casper. Where you are? Are you on camera? They want to see ya. They want to see ya. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Let me know where you are. Can you hear me okay? Good morning. We got about a minute and a half to go. Where are you, Missy? Good morning from North Carolina. All right. Glad to have North Carolina in the house. Welcome from Arizona. All right. From Las Vegas. There we go. We're all in the game. Good to see you this morning. Good morning. Good morning. What are you doing? What are you doing? Want to bite me? You want to bite me? Where's Casper? There you can see. You can see. There you go. There's Mountain down here. I got two dogs. It's a two-dog night. Two-dog morning. A little cooler here in Southern California. Good morning. We're glad to have you with us on the, what we believe is the 29th. It might be close to the 30th episode of Coffee with Casper. We're happy to have you here with us this morning. For a few seconds we will get rock and roll. We got the gong standing by. Everybody ready to take their breath and relax into this 20 minutes together? Good morning. North Carolina, Nevada, Las Vegas, Arizona. My goodness. Here we go. There it is. We are at 8:30. Good morning. Here we go. Let's take a deep breath. Allow that breath to flow into your heart center. And then we're just going to relax. We're just going to relax and let go. Just like you were turning on the radio for 20 minutes, just to look for a new thought, an idea that maybe you have not had before, or maybe one that's circulating at a higher level in this upward, forward spiral of life. Good morning from Hollywood, from Eureka, California. Eureka, I have found it. So you remember a few weeks ago we mentioned a Kenny Chesney song called Boats, and he talks about a friend of his. Good morning from Salt Lake City. He talks about a friend of his who got a boat, and he sailed into a hurricane. And the lyric goes like this at that point. He said he watched his life pass before his eyes in the middle of a hurricane. He came out alive on the other side. That's where the other side got its name. So you and I are part of a transition in the world. Good morning from New Hampshire. We are part of a transition in the world, and this world is a reboot, just like we talked about with the computer. Like, it needs to go all the way down, every program needs to shut all the way off, and then you can restart it, and it will find its way to get every program up and running again. And that's what's called the other side. So right now here in the United States, as well as holographically as a beacon around the world, we're having a reset. The reset is going to be good. It will always be good. Now, what we know in the United States is that this reset is based on a fairly evenly divided country. And in the end, this time in the United States, the Electoral College and the majority vote are on the same side, albeit very, very close. We have two points of view. So just like a football game, whatever you want to call it, a Super Bowl game, a big game. Good morning from Oregon. If there's a big game, one team has to lose. And sometimes in a very big game, like a Super Bowl, there's a pretty even divide about how people would like it to go. And so somebody is going to come out on the other side as a victor, and somebody is going to come out on the other side with their point of view not prevailing. And that could have been in any direction, as we see how close the nation is in terms of their point of view. However, here's the other side of this, that no matter which side you came out, you made it to the other side. You're on the other side, and you will be okay. That's why it's called the other side. You're on the other side of what has been and continues to be a big transformation on the earth. We are not on the other side of the virus. We see the virus spike up and down, and what we know, even during the course of the last 30 weeks that we've been doing this show, only having missed 1 week since we started, we've seen this wave go up and go down, and we've seen our concepts around it change, and we've seen advancements in our ability to cope with it. And so we are on the other side of some things and not on the other side of other big things. And when we get to the other side, you have to be into renewing. And we talked about renewal last week, the repair of something that is worn out or broken. And here's where we are on the other side. What is worn out and broken is believing the other side is completely wrong and we're completely right, or believing we're completely right and they're completely wrong. The universe doesn't work in that level of extremes. There are ways that we have to compromise to come together to find the right direction to pursue that which we all want, which is life and liberty and renewal and happiness. We would like to see a nation and indeed a world working together toward a world eventually that will work for all. Now that's a long, hard journey. Just as we, in the Judeo-Christian season, we begin to start wishing peace on earth and goodwill toward other human beings. And that needs to go on and has gone on for thousands of years, and we don't always have goodwill toward other human beings and peace on earth. But this is the inner reality. We talked about that before, that which is behind, meta, behind, alongside, or with, that which is behind, alongside, or with the physical, which of course is the consciousness that's creating the experience. So here we are, each in our own lives. I want to take you back to another quote that we have mentioned many times before, just because it's so critical, and that's the idea of William James. And William James was the great psychologist in the early part of the 1900s, American psychologist, who said the greatest discovery of any generation is that a human can alter his life by altering his attitude of mind. Human beings can alter his or her life by altering their attitude of mind. In other words, human beings can change regardless of what's happening on the outside. And circumstances will change based on what we're doing on the inside. Consciousness creates experience. Consciousness precedes all experience. The consciousness that we're talking about is your consciousness. Your consciousness is comprised of everything you ever thought, said, done, or felt, and is certainly comprised of the attitudes of mind that you're holding in place right now, today. And so, are you willing? So here's a great line. I think it comes from me. The problem with me is never you. The problem with me is never you. No matter what the circumstance looks like, good morning from Virginia Beach, no matter what it looks like, the problem with me is not you. The problem with me is coming from my consciousness. So regardless of how you were framed in this election, or even how you're feeling as we adjust to the renewal, as we adjust to the change, the reality is what you're doing, what they are doing, is not affecting what you have to be. Our friend Terry Cole Whitaker many, many years ago wrote a book called What You Think of Me Is None of My Business. Because what is your business is what you think of you. What is critical is what you think of you. And that's the compass. What you think of you is what we can do in this time of renewal, whichever side you are on. We can come together and be about renewal, be born anew in a new concept of who and what I am, knowing that I am one with the one, that my direct connection with the one, that which is the law of life, is responding to my deepest levels of belief. that proverbial statement from Proverbs, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As we talked about last week, and mental science always talks about, is the thinketh in a heart is that level of belief where it sinks in to the level of your subconscious, which is what is creating your experience. Not what you think you believe, but what you actually believe. So if you actually believe that these events outside of yourselves have got you locked in position all the way from Florida, nice to see you, Andy, have got you locked in position, then that's your lock. Our friend Edwin Gage, a wonderful prosperity teacher, she used to say, well, if you tell yourself you can't have a greater good because you're on a fixed income, her question was, who fixed it, right? The problem with me is not you. The problem with me is not the red people or the blue people. The problem with me can only be fixed by me, because human beings can alter their experience, what they're physically experiencing, by altering their attitude of mind. And now we're in a time where that divinity which belongs to all souls, already ordained by God, that the consciousness of mankind, humankind, can begin to look through the mist into the eternal and changeless reality and see that each and every soul is concurrently the glory of God and concurrently a human being embodying what it is to be born in the I am that I am, to be born in the I am consciousness that is equally distributed. We call it Christ consciousness, Buddha awareness, Atman consciousness, the awakening to my high self, the falling into my heart. There are millions of, or many variations of the way we could describe this awakening, right? Awakening happens as we become more comfortable in our own body, in our own time, in our own skin, with our own authority. That we have the possibility to create out of love, to create out of integrity, and to bring forth dignity and truth. This is my friend Dee Wallace put all of these words together, and we're all new thought metaphysicians, meaning we can find a new thought, begin to dwell on that thought, begin to create attitudes around that thought, and begin to move forward. I am guided, guarded, directed, protected, and led by this I am consciousness into the paths of perfect right action for me. And what you think of me is none of my business. What I think of me is my business. And what I'm doing in my awareness is my business. And what I'm doing in terms of my compassion toward other people and my willingness to be understanding and open-minded toward other points of view, knowing that every day I'm guided, guarded, directed, protected, and led into the paths of perfect right action for me. And this is a divine partnership which I am forming in my own consciousness, which no human being has the power to interrupt. I am the one who can begin to say, this is the day the Lord has made. I am one with the one, and this law of life that is given me this day, as the earth spins and the sun comes around again, as actually the earth comes back around to the sun again, that's a new day. That's a new reset. And we do not have to be dependent, on what the race is doing. The race is going to do what it does, and we can be a place of peace and poise and graciousness and understanding and compassion and caring and aliveness and exuberance and creativity and peace. You see, all of these qualities, which are the eternal verities, the varieties of life that are always present, they are all there, not dependent upon red states or blue states or divided states. They're only dependent on the united state of my consciousness. How is my consciousness aligning? How is my consciousness dreaming forward a world that will work for everyone and that sings of the constitutional and beautiful worldwide ideas held in the sacred chalice of the United States, life and liberty and equal justice for all? Wow, this is now completely in our hands, and how we want to handle it and how we want to work in nature and work with God and work with truth is completely up to you and me. You and I are the ones who decide this. Don't eat my paper. My paper fell away, right? So the problem with me is not you. The problem with me is not the news networks. The problem with me is not the news in the world. My challenges are my challenges, and my opportunity now is to trust the reboot, because the reboot is aligning us with what we used to call, or what the Bible called, the still small voice. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that this I am awareness is one with the one, and the I am that is God is guiding us toward our divine fulfillment, a life of health, wealth, and success, and that's normal. That's the new normal in the reboot. You and I have the capacity to personalize this. It's I am guided, guarded, directed, and protected. Right? I am the one who recognizes and accepts and experiences that which is for my highest good and development. I am the one who brings into this day this enthusiasm. What you think of me is none of my business. What your business, what I think of me is my business. And thinking it is my responsibility. To begin to claim this divine power, which is everywhere present, that's in everybody every day. But it only works when you work it. It only steps in when you align with this high self. When you align with that high self of each and every other soul. That's what Namaste is. The Spirit of God within me celebrates the Spirit of God within you. I see that divinity in you, and now I'm making the choices in my thinking, in my way of being, with my words. I am beginning to be mindful of the new opportunities that are unfolding in a new day. We have made it to the other side. That's why the other side got its name. The other side is that now we, the people, can focus on what each one wants to be, what our heart's desire is, and begin to consciously speak it into form by the way we're praying, by the way we're dwelling, by the way we're speaking with our friends, by the way we're communicating in the world, by the way we're compassionately, I was going to say marching, but it's not marching, compassionately walking in the garden with the divine. I am walking in the garden with the divine, and the problem with me is nothing outside of myself. The opportunity with me is to take responsibility for me, to take responsibility for this extraordinary gift of self, of your unique place in the world, and the way you can carry your consciousness, your heart, into the world with you. Not just your thoughts, not just your essays, not just your brain spinning around, but your heart. As a man thinketh in his heart, as a woman thinketh in her heart, as human beings follow their deepest levels of belief, those beliefs can change, and they will change in your experience. Because human beings can alter their experience by altering their attitude of mind. So let us make a decision today that today is a new day. That today is a new day for each one of us individually. Today is a new day for light workers collectively to begin to joyously bring this light more and more forward into our own lives and into the lives of our friends and families and all those who touch the meaning of our experience. This is the time to begin to dwell, to recognize, accept, and experience that which is for your highest good and development, and to pay attention, because the opportunities are going to unfold just as this voice is guiding us. It will lead us into an opportunity which will be in front of our face, and if we're paying attention, we will adjust course and seize the opportunity and begin to graciously accept these opportunities and allow them to continue to expand so that good and more good is mine. There's no limit to the good that is mine. Everywhere I go, I see this good, I feel it, I expect it, it crowds itself against me, and I open up and I become an avenue through which this good is multiplying around me. Imagine yourself allowing that light, which is the I am that you are, being a place where it's now multiplying around you and doing its good work. And it isn't really you, it's the power within you doing the work, but you are one with that power. So it is you, and you can claim it, and you can use it, and you can create with it, and you can bring forth a world that works for everyone. The Spirit of God within me celebrates the Spirit of God within you, and we go forth in peace. And we are finding the way to creatively work together, to reset, to renew, to bring forth a world that works for everyone. And it's not a one-day project, it's an everyday project. And every day, every step of the way, when we open our minds and hearts and proclaim it and invite it and work with it, we can bring this greater love, this greater joy, this greater peace, this greater understanding into the world. So my friends, it's my honor and privilege to be with you in this day. Everyone who is watching, you go to newthought.com. You can give me your email address, and you'll get special mailings from me when they come out. They don't come out very often. You can go to YouTube and find Coffee with Casper. You can go to newthought.com and click on the social media and go straight to all of the episodes. We invite you to share this good news, because we are all contributing by being here on Coffee with Casper and then sharing what we know and sharing our hearts and sharing any insights that we can. Share the video, share the news, work with your consciousness, because who you are is spiritual magnificence. And I know that about you. So thank you for bringing your consciousness into the world. Thanks for being you. Thanks for sharing your love with me. And together, let us let this heart light shine and wake up the world, so that we are living the dream that we all, in our heart of hearts, know that we can bring into our lives, to comfortably live our lives and fulfill our purpose. Until we meet again, I invite you to go in the light, as the light, and with the light. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you on your way. We'll see you next week on Coffee with Casper.